Jeremy Swayman has finally commented on his season's performance in this year-end press conference. We're going to be breaking down what he said and what this means going forward for the Bruins goaltending, as well as some possible trade rumors that are swirling, which I think are absolutely crazy. But you're going to have to stick around to find those out here at the end of the video. Before we get into it, though, be sure to hit the sub button if you haven't already. We know that the percentage of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot for all of your Boston Bruins news here in this very busy offseason, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button, join me here on the channel. We're covering everything Boston Bruins. But without any further ado, let's get into our first screenshot here, going over a few stats. I want to pull up these first. Obviously, I think we all know what Jeremy Swayman's season was like. Certainly was not the best, but how different it was compared to the rest of his seasons was a drastic difference. Looking at his performance from this season, comparing it to last, of course he played the 14 more games due to there being no more Linus Ullmark on this team, but the performance was significantly worse. Now, I think we can say this all really did stem from the beginning, the contract negotiations, ultimately where it ended up then, missing training camp, and really just throwing this team out of whack before the season started, and that is a major factor into what the Bruins issue was. But there's also a lot more things that were just all around the plates that were the main issue. But I want to pull up Jeremy Swayman's quotes as well. We're going to get into a few of those. We have quite a bit, so bear with me here. But starting off with our first one, he says, "I take accountability. I wanted to play better. I know that I can play better, and that's something that I can't wait to work on. This team is going to be a lot different next year with what we learned this year, and we have a lot to look forward to." Excuse me. Jeremy Swayman obviously coming out saying these things was expected. We knew Jeremy Swayman was going to be that. We knew that he wanted to play better. That was very, very evident. We saw that throughout the season, but a lot of people are still putting the blame on him due to his money situation, the contract negotiations that were going on before the season, and blaming him for the way that the season went for the Boston Bruins. I don't think that's fair. There certainly is an aspect of this where, yes, you can blame him. You can say that the way that he started out the season really put the team in a much different position to start the year. But throughout the end of the season, when he started to get going, and of course the training camp that he didn't have was a major factor in his performance as well. But I can't bring it with me to say that this is Jeremy Swayman's fault. Obviously, some of it to blame, but not fully. I can guarantee you that. And, we're looking at a very different team coming from the beginning of the season until now. And from the beginning of the season, yes, absolutely, more games could have been won, but at the end of the season, still need to make some more saves, but the team around him wasn't much help either. So it is a very big, difference to what we were looking at now and then. But heading into our second quote here from Jeremy Swayman, once again, he said, "I want to take accountability, I want to play better. I know I can play better, but what I learned this year is going to be really beneficial for a lot of years to come. This is one of those years I'm going to lean on in hard times, and hopefully this is the case." Obviously, we don't want to see any hard times for the Boston Bruins, but Jeremy Swayman's a guy that really takes stuff well from the past. And, we've seen it before, we've seen it in years prior, that his performances, let's just take for an example, against different teams coming to the playoffs, he learns his opponents well, and being able to rely on things that you've noticed in the past is something that is very important for your growth, and especially for Jeremy Swayman in this case. First off, negotiations from contracts, the play, the way the team played, everything coming along with this. I really do hope that Jeremy Swayman can bring this into a positive light here in this offseason, heading into next season, because we know it's going to be a major impact and a major difference as we head towards next season, and hopefully a different mindset from this team coming out of the gates, because it's going to be a very different team. It's going to be a lot younger team, and there's still going to be a lot of moves that are going to be made in this offseason, including what I made in yesterday's video talking about Jonas Corposalo probably, likely, seemingly going to be traded after his comments here, which will, once again, I'll pull up here later in the video for those who didn't get to see it. But I do have another screenshot here. Kind of wanted to pull this up from the Hockey News, talking about what went down after the whole situation with Nikita Zadorov earlier on in this season. Not really earlier on, a couple weeks ago, actually. It says, "Last offseason was intriguing for the Boston Bruins goaltender Jeremy Swayman, who waited out an entire summer before inking a deal just before the regular season began, with many hinting that it would hurt the relationship in the locker room," which ultimately seemed like it did. I don't want to confirm. I can't say it's confirmed because, obviously, I'm not in the locker room. I'm not a reporter. I'm not an analyst. I just come out and report the news on a fan basis. But on Sunday, after their loss to the LA Kings, of course, this is a couple weeks ago, Nikita Zadorov seemingly hinted at the same when he was asking about Swayman standing up for his teammates in an attempt to fight Kings goaltender Darcy Kemper. And the reaction from Bruins fans, from the Bruins, from Joe Sacco, from everybody on the team, was very displeased. They were not happy with Jeremy Swayman at that point. We want to see him just go do his job. There's no need for the extracurriculars at that point in the season. You're not fighting it for anything. And it really put a lot of people in the wrong direction once again for Jeremy Swayman and an already deteriorated thoughts on him in this season. And kind of looking at the same thing, Zadorov, the team, we're not really happy with him in this case. Zadorov, who has been incredibly vocal, which we're going to have some more videos on as well, kind of touching on his impact this season. Elias Lindholm's, their voice, their presence on the team, even though it wasn't great for him, how much they impacted it. And being a leader on this team already, Nikita Zadorov certainly has a word in the locker room, and it really goes to show that a lot of people are not happy with him, which is causing a lot of people to discuss trades for Jeremy Swayman. And I reported on a video a couple weeks ago talking about a potential trade with him, what Jimmy Murphy had to say, and the idea that he may be traded. And I still can't bring it to myself to be able to say that I believe he'll trade it. I don't think it's any chance he does, especially with Jonas Corposalo likely to be. They don't want to have a very bad goaltending situation. You traded Linus Ullmark for a reason, and the Bruins just inked him to a $66 million deal. They're not going to be doing that. They're going to trust the bounce back, because we know he's going to bounce back next year as good as he was. And going off of that as well, we're seeing a major difference here in the team, in Jeremy Swayman, and everybody involved, and that's going to be a big factor next season when it does come down to it. And once again, Jeremy Swayman, more quotes come out from him. Says, one thing I really want to be is a guy and a goalie that can stay focused in the moment and really focus on the here and now and not let the past stuff affect my present. I think moving forward, I can't wait to be a part of training camp and use it as an extremely valuable piece to start the season. So when we're looking at how the difference of next season and this season is going to play out once again, it does seem like Jeremy Swayman fully acknowledges that his situation to begin this most recent season was not ideal. He kind of ruined the team's momentum and all of that. Coming out and putting out this specific quote in here, really showing that, he's excited for next season. He's going to be there, and he learned how valuable it was. It really goes to show, once again, he cares about the team. There's no reason to think that he could be traded in any means. I mean, looking at him next season, it's obvious that he's going to be ready for it. We're hoping he's going to be ready for it, and when we look at him in the net next season, hopefully it's the Jeremy Swayman that I pulled up here in this stat group. Hopefully we erase that 24-25 season and it becomes the Jeremy Swayman that we all know and love. But I wanted to pull up this, and I don't, I really feel like I shouldn't. The free agent goaltender market, wanted to pull up here once again, just showing that there's really no option apart from Jeremy Swayman. There's, of course, a few RFAs, Jake Ottinger. He's going to be locked up, of course. Things are not going to be going astray there, but there's no free agent goaltenders. There's no trades that will likely happen. And I'm just kind of reinforcing the fact that Jeremy Swayman is going to be here. There's no doubt in my mind. But finish this one off, I wanted to pull up the Jonas Corposalo thing, kind of going over it just before, once again, to hammer the fact that Jeremy Swayman is the Bruins goaltender next season. Corposalo said, I don't think there's any goalie in the league who's comfortable playing only 20-25 games. A lot of reactions to that were not very positive. Obviously, you're putting Swayman in, as I mentioned last video as well. You're putting Swayman in. He just got the money. He's going to be playing. There's no doubt that Corposalo is not splitting 50-50 with him. It is Swayman's net to lose, and he's been doing that at that point. He's been lined up for this opportunity. So there are going to be some changes made for the Bruins lineup next season. Goaltending, we're still uncertain of that. Jeremy Swayman seems to be the number one starter going forward, but Corposalo is looking to be traded. So let me know what you think about all this here in the comments below. Of course, Corposalo stuff yesterday, go watch that video if you want a deeper dive into that. But Jeremy Swayman here today, let me know what you think in the comments below. Obviously, it's a different situation now than we want to be in. We'd love to be heading into the playoffs now, come Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, but wasn't the season. Get a big rebuild, get a good offseason. We're going to be talking a lot about it here on the channel, so you're not going to want to miss it. I'll have it all right here first for you guys in daily videos. But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well, but I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.